All right, we're out here, Vacuo. This is No Format, episode 2. Got the homie Kel out here. And yeah, this is a store, and I'm just going to break it down, and we're just going to talk about what inspired the store, how everything came together. But yeah, so I'm Aaron Rice, the homie Kel. Just introduce yourself, give us a little bit about the store, when it started, and what's the idea behind the store.
Yeah, so my name is Kel. I started doing Vacuo about 2 years ago, but didn't have a online in-store storefront until around January of this year. So it's been like, I don't know, 9 months now.
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah. And yeah, we just sell kind of like the high-end consignment and clothes, mostly in terms of Raf Undercover, Number 9, Gucci, to newer stuff like Infon or older stuff like Yoji. Just stuff that I like, and yeah. It's been nice.
What's the name mean?
Oh man, it's kind of a derivative of Vacuo, which to put it in short terms, welcome to Wikipedia. It's just a kind of a concept of value perception, where there's less things surrounding something. It increases the value of it. Like looking through a window shop of Barney's looks nicer and cleaner compared to looking through one of those boutiques in Melrose. Yeah, but you can Wikipedia if it's an interesting concept.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what's your ethnicity? You're Japanese, right?
Yeah, I'm half Japanese and half Persian.
You grew up in Japan or out here?
No, I was only in Japan for about a year, and after that, I came here, and then moved to Diamond Bar, then to Beverly, and then
You still go back to Japan?
Yeah, sometimes.
You ever thought about like moving, like having like keeping this store, but having like a separate like Vacuo in Japan?
I have a lot of dreams. Yeah.
Where else could you see yourself having stores?
New York, I think.
Yeah.
That was my original idea, but I grew up here, so I wanted to do it here. There's also less competition here. And then one in Japan probably. But that's just like, I can't even think about that right now.
Nah, but you gotta think big. You know what I'm saying? Like the store's small now, but eventually, like long term, like I think you can do it, bro. Cause what drew me, like, so my whole thing is like I got to LA for my first time 6 months ago in March.
Yeah.
I had been hearing about the store for like a good year, maybe 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I have to go to this store. And I just pulled up on you at the party for you to just pop up.
Yeah.
And I bought like a couple little Number 9 things. And I was like, yo, this store is so cool. But like it's in the cut. And I think that's what kind of drew me to it. It was like, it's for those who know. And it's like, if you know where the store is and you know what you're going to look for. Like, you know, like there's certain brands, like you might be into Margiela, you might be into Raf, you might be into Number 9, you might be into Undercover.
Yeah.
But if you're going to the store, you already have an idea of what you're looking for. It's not like you're going to a store and it's a thrift store, you just don't know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
In a way, yes, but in a way, you kind of know, like, if you're going to the store, like, you're going to find something you probably like. It just all depends on the day, because you're kind of like a thrift store. Like, you sell stuff and then you get new stuff, and, like, every week is different stuff. I just like the idea of it, because, like, to be honest, I think it's the best store in LA. You may not be the biggest, bro, but, like, what you're doing, it really resonates with me. And, bro, just for an example, who's come through the store? Just give a name of, like, people that...
Oh, you mean, like...
Yeah, celebrities.
People with clout?
Anyone, bro.
The ASAP Mob pulls through a lot. Mario pulls through. We get Roliati come in.
Yeah.
Perry with them. Nestle comes by. GoldLink comes by a lot. He's one of my favorite customers. Shout out to GoldLink. I can't think on top of my head. It's usually designers from other places.
I remember I brought the homie A-Side last time, and then he brought Tremaine.
Yeah, Tremaine comes by sometimes. Unfortunately, he's a really big dude, so I try to find stuff for him and keep him on the side.
Yo,
he has a very small collection of things.
What's crazy about it? Just remember, you told me Jules Gain comes through all the time.
Jules Gain, he's like definitely one of my mentors. He's
really he was at the trade show the other day.
He was?
He walked right by my booth, and I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head. I knew it was him because he works for Herschel now.
Yeah, he's a creative director.
And I remember me and you having a conversation about like Jules Gay and the International Stussy Tribe. Like he's a legend, bro. Like from New York. Like he's the dude who opened up Stussy Hawaii, and he was running around New York with all these. He used to send Sean Stussy mixtapes. Yep. So it was like, bro, I thought about because you're the one who told me like, yo, he's around here. I didn't even know he was around here. Because he lives in LA now.
He lives in LA, somewhere up in the hills, I think.
Yeah, because he works for Herschel, so
he's pretty low key, but he has a lot to say, and he has a lot of cool stuff to say, and it's like everything that comes out of his mouth is like the coolest thing. It's the coolest.
It's because of OG, bro. He grew up in that era, bro. So it's like
he had his own shop in Hawaii a bit. He also was a model for Comme des Garçons Plus in 1986. He was like a skater dude. He was a surfer dude. Still is like that's crazy. Just like he's insane. He has some like the most amazing Supreme collection. He's just really out there. He has like a huge undercover collection. He has like undercover like toys and accessories and collectibles, and he wants to kind of do it on his own. So he makes like props or like attaches it with something, like the Underman toys for undercover, for example. Like he put it inside like kind of like those like Godzilla situations, or like Ultraman, where like they're like fighting in big cities. Like he would like make a little miniature and put like the figurines in there and stuff like that.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Bro, I was so mad that I went up to him. I was wearing a Stussy bucket, and he recognized that. Yeah. And I was wearing like a jumpsuit I told you that day, the boiler suit. And he looked at me, and I went to walk up to him, and my mind drew a blank. I couldn't remember his name. Yeah. And then I was like looking on Instagram. I was like, bro, it's not Paul Middleman, who used to be like the old creative director. Yeah. Who works for Converse now. Yeah. And I was like, bro, like who is it? And I was like, bro, I know he worked for Stussy Tribe, and I couldn't remember until after he left. And I was like, damn. And then I remember I was like, yo, Kel told me he lived out here. And I remember I thought about you, and I was like, that's the type of people who come to your store, bro. So like you should be happy, bro. Like
it's cool.
Like legends walking into your store, like he's a legend, bro.
Cool.
Like OG Stussy Tribe, like you know what I say, 80s, like.
We give some people like that, like old heads, or like people that are really into like the underground scene that have been part of it for a long time. Yeah. I know how they find about the store, but that's probably one of the
probably like Ace Artists, like people like that. Just that's what I'm saying. It's word of mouth, bro. It's for those that really know what they're looking for, bro. He came to the store knowing that there's gonna be certain things he wants to buy. Yeah. What type of stuff does he buy, or like people like that when they come to the store buy?
It depends what the taste is. Honestly, I can't really give
it's all over the place.
Like apply to that, because like it depends on their tastes. So.
What's some of your favorite brands, like personally, like what you wear?
Oh man, what I would wear? Well, I don't have a closet at home, so I can't really tell you what I own. Like whenever I just kind of want to, wear something, I wear it from the store. Yeah. Except for like underwear and socks.
So the store is your archive, bro.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I like a lot of soloists. I like undercover. I like rap when I get my hands on it, but it's just the market for that's pretty high. I like Yoji, I like Jan Van Esch, and I'm wearing that right now.
What's the designer?
Jan Van Esch.
Never.
Yeah, it's all the opening ceremonies. He's a Belgian designer.
Belgian. He probably went to Academy of Fine Arts, like with all of them.
I have no idea.
That's where most of them in Belgium go to.
It's craziest, dude. He only makes like a collection every year, and then they're like super like made some amazing technical materials and like extremely like nomadic, like big silhouettes.
Yeah. Word. Yeah. So right now in the store, what are some of your favorite pieces you have for sale?
The hand painted hoodie by Rap is really cool.
Siddhartha collection.
Yeah, this is Siddhartha collection, where he based it off of, I forgot the guy's name, but Siddhartha, the book. Yeah. And it's very like, has this kind of like spiritual, kind of like, Nirvana-ish kind of feeling.
Yeah, the runway was in the woods, right?
Yeah, it was like in the woods, and they're wearing like, it was like super like spiritual and like, kind of all that like Eastern kind of vibe with like that Western Siddhartha feel. Journeyman kind of thing. Yeah. And then we also have the Yoji shirt by, what has a Psycho on it. Yeah. That thing's crazy, especially the new 2018 SS, I think, with the crazy amounts of giant graphics that Yoji's doing. Suzume, yeah, that's her name. That's just a new one. But this is Psycho, and she died a little after the Yoji collaboration, so those things are really cool and has a lot of history behind it. Other pieces would probably be, I don't know, man.
Those Margiela jeans I'm about to cop are crazy.
Yeah.
Those are newer ones, though, right?
Yeah, those are newer ones.
It just reminds me of, like, when they start hand painting everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, if it was, like, the artisanal ones, it'd be, like, a couple, maybe $100 to $1,000. So, but yeah, those are the reissue ones past the H&M ones, because H&M did
but the H&M stuff was just reissue of archive stuff.
I think that was the coolest collaboration if they were doing.
I had the boots, bro, and I was supposed to get them for like $30. The Chelsea boots, the white paint splatter, the chip. Yeah. I was supposed to get them for $30 in Florida, like when they came out, and I passed. My brother was like, "What are you doing buying Chelsea boots? No one wears Chelsea boots anymore." Yeah. And I was at the store with them in my hand, and they were on sale. They didn't buy them, and then now they're worth like $200-300, and like they keep going up and stuff. Yeah. I seen the reversible jeans they did. Those were like $20-30. I didn't buy. I still hit my head over not buying that stuff, because like I said, I have like the Margiela archive book. Like Margiela is one of my favorite designers, because Margiela basically did everything, bro. Like that dude, like, and because really, bro, all his early stuff was just stuff he used to buy in thrift stores. He would just rework everything.
Yeah, especially for artisanal for men, he would rework a bunch of stuff. But yeah, a lot of the H&Ms were kind of like a diluted version of the artisanal stuff. Like if you especially if you compare to the bigger pieces like the reversible jeans and the belt jacket, belts, like the artisanal version is obviously like, especially with the budget. Yeah, with
the quality's probably way better. Yeah,
and it's just it's insane. Like it's beautiful. with any other piece that's there, including the hand painted jeans.
What do you think about the fact that like people like there's Gallianos now at Margiela? At first, I thought it was like a bad fit because like I was very like Margiela, like his traditional style. Because Gallianos, to me, his stuff looks like costumes. It's very like extravagant, like over the top, and I didn't think he was gonna fit at Margiela. But lately, I like what he's doing. And like I'm pretty sure Margiela knows what he's doing. Like he probably sees what he's up to. Like, he probably checks on the collections and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he'd be proud of him, bro.
I went to Galliano's artisanal event at Maxfield where they kind of posted, I think, current season, certain past season pieces on there. I saw it in person. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's good. I really like it, but I have a high kind of standards for Margiela because he just kind of blows everybody away all the time.
Yeah.
So it's really great and I love it, and I especially love that one dress where it's like a face, like that thing like kind of brought
the Galliano one that he did, the black one.
Yeah, it was like a black. Was it black? I don't remember.
It was a black dress on the runway, but he made a face out of the dress.
Yeah,
it's like on the chest.
Yeah, no, it's like on the bottom portion that goes throughout.
It was on the runway though. I seen it. It was from like a year. I think last year maybe or a couple seasons.
That was the
ago.
most beautiful thing I've seen that year. It was amazing. Like that was amazing. But despite all that, I still don't think it feels like Margiela. Margiela took a more conceptual approach. This is kind of like more just like
just runway fashion, bro.
Yeah, it's like more conceptual approach, but I think Galliano's a bit more on the aesthetic and in like more the aesthetic side. I'm just put it in simple words, like that's just how I feel. Because like Margiela was really all about the inside out.
Raph was supposed to get that job, like from Margiela a couple years ago, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
I really wonder what he would like. The stuff he's doing at Calvin is cool, but imagine if he would have went to Margiela. Because his first show he ever saw was Spring Summer '90 back in 1989 when Walter Van Beek took him to Paris. Mm-hmm. I think it was the all white show. And that's the first show Raph ever saw, and he was studying industrial design, but he interned for Walter, and that's what made him become a designer. So I was like, bro, who better to like fit his place? And like seeing all his collections growing up, he understands where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Like I've always felt like that would have been a perfect fit. I'm kind of mad he didn't do it.
I think it's because especially after he realized working at Dior, there's like these ridiculous deadlines and kind of things you have to follow.
You've seen Dior now, right?
Yeah. So like I believe that he probably just learned from that. Maybe Margiela had the same thing going on, that whole like corporate kind of like deadline meeting kind of thing where you don't have much creative control.
Yeah.
So I know Raph kind of likes to have that to himself, make sure he has that creative control. So maybe they didn't offer a flexible thing, or maybe I don't know. You have to ask him.
Personally, I like guys like Hedy Somain, and like I want to see him come back. So like I was hearing he was supposed to go to Chanel. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want him to just start his own brand, but he said he'll never do that.
I mean, the thing about Eddie is that I really like his photography.
Yeah, he's
more
insane.
Than his clothes. So like I think he's really good at that. He has the best eye of of the recent decade.
I was telling my homie because like he goes to like little clubs for like indie musicians, like rockers. Yeah. And like if you ever seen like his photography on his website, he has like the rock diary, and then he has like just photography in general. He does for like magazines and stuff. That's what you probably see like editorials and just covers and stuff. Like that's sick to me. Like he has a really good eye, and like that's what I just really love about him.
Yeah. Like he, for a lot of his clothes, he kind of just took something that he liked and just slapped it on his clothes.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like appropriated to whatever kind of theme or concept or ethos he was trying to develop for the season.
Yeah.
And then it just looks good. And like most people just don't know how to do that. They just kind of copy it.
What it is like it's a lot of his stuff. People have pulled it up. It's just a lot of stuff he finds in thrift stores out here.
Yeah. Or he goes to like, for example, he went to Mexico. Even that one, the Raptor one. There's like a Raptor on the back.
The jacket. Yeah.
And it's also the shirt. So for that, he just went to Mexico or something. Or I could be racist right now. There's probably some South America country.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Mexico for the case because that's just what I remember. But he went down there and then he saw this one punk rocker wearing something like that, and then he was like, dang, I really like that, and he just put on a jacket.
I mean, that's kind of what I do with clothes. Like I've showed you my clothes where I just see something Kurt wore or Sid Vicious or someone, and I just remake it. He was just doing like on a bigger, like higher scale. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that you gotta kind of like make it your own in a sense. If you're going to reappropriate it to your designs to make it, to breathe life into it, so it's actually your design and creativity that's flowing, and that's what you're trying to sell. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I like him. I like Takahiro. I mean, obviously that's usually what I buy.
Yeah.
So like those are like some of my designers. I'm more like on the rock and roll side, but I do appreciate. Like I study a lot of fashion. Like I like Enda Müller-Meester. I like a lot of her history. And I got Sebastian now that's used to study with Enda Müller-Meester who took over. He's pretty sick. I don't know if you've like looked at some of his recent stuff. He's only been there I think maybe like a year. I think 2014 is when he started like on his own.
Yeah.
is when I think Andy left the company. So like what, 3 years now? So he's been there for a little minute, but he had one collection recently. He had, because Andy Mulamista used to be inspired by Patti Smith and like Robert Mapplethorpe, also who inspired like Raph.
Yeah.
But like that's her muse. Like like when she did the Rizzoli book, she had Patti Smith and I forgot the other lady's name. There was like another singer similar, but like she's really into like female singers. Like that, like Patti Smith's like her muse. Like think of like how brands like Kurt Cobain, like for females, Patti Smith was like her Kurt Cobain. Okay. And like a lot of her stuff was like remake of like what her and Robert Mapplethorpe used to wear. Because Patti Smith, I don't know if you know, used to live in like the Chelsea Hotel.
I don't know that.
If you know about the Chelsea Hotel, is this hotel in New York, and it was kind of like where like rockers kind of like would stay when they didn't have money, and like Patti Smith was basically like, if it wasn't for that hotel, she probably would have been homeless. Like she was really like poor until like her poetry and her like music took off, and her and Robert Mapplethorpe used to actually go out. People don't know that. Like people think he just took her photos. They were boyfriend and girlfriend in the beginning until he came out as gay, and then he just stayed on as her photographer. He took like the horses cover and a lot of stuff. Like I love Patti Smith, so I like what Andy Mulamista does because it was like super inspired by her. Jun Takahashi, like you know how he has the lightning bolt?
Yeah,
that was inspired by her tattoo.
He also has the fuck the future, fuck the past.
Yeah, a lot of that's from the Gloria, from Gloria, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's from Gloria, one of the songs. But yeah, a lot of her stuff is just, it inspires so many people, and I like how like musicians, like people just appropriate what they wore, little things, but they kind of pay inspiration, like pay homage. Like they're not like copying it, because like if you look at the lightning bolt that June did, he did it on the knee. Like she had it tattooed. He put it like on a pair of pants. Yeah. Like you know, almost like she didn't wear it on her jeans. He just like he'll take little things that people have, and like you find ways to incorporate clothes based on that. And I think that's like the sickest thing. Like if I ever like do full console, which is my plans, I want to do stuff like that. Like the stuff that people overlook. And I feel like that's like a big part, because like the best designers always have stories behind their pieces. Like it's all references, and like you could look at like the accordion boots. There's probably a reason he has all these zippers on them.
Yeah.
But I don't know it. You might know it. Or like the Visvums. Like I remember like the FBTs, Hiroshi Fujiwara was a fan of this group called Funboy 3. And then he told Hiroki, like, yo, go remake these, because he was very into moccasins. Yeah. And he gave him he pitched him the idea to remake that certain pair. Because if you look on the Funboy 3 cover, it's like a purple cover with 3 dudes sitting in a chair, and he has his legs crossed. He's wearing a pair of moccasins. Look at, not this model, but the original FBTs. Yeah. Like, they're just remaking stuff, and a lot, because bro, to me musicians have like the best style, because a lot of people used to find stuff in thrift stores back in the day and just wear it.
Yeah, because it was strong identity.
Yeah, and then nowadays people are remaking that, and I kind of fall into that category where I'm just like super inspired by like the past. I feel like it's cool to like take inspiration from the past, but you kind of have to live in the moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's cool to look at different things, but that already happened. You got to find a way to like reappropriate and like make it modern.
Yeah, Thomas
and just like
Paine always said history rhymes.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that, and like that's why I feel like guys like Hiroki, like a lot of his stuff is inspired by like Native Americans. Yeah, I think it's really cool, but in a way he's doing it because like a lot of people reappropriate Native Americans and like their culture, and it's like they're doing it in a way to like Native Americans don't like that. They get very offended. Like I'm pretty sure you, because you know you're Japanese, you know about goros. Yeah, like the jewelry. Like bro, that dude lived with Native American tribes in America. And he used to be called Yellow Eagle. That was his nickname.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and like he literally learned how to make all that jewelry by hand from Native Americans, and he took it back to Japan. The store's still there. His kids own it. And like guys like Eric Clapton, John Mayer, Hiroshi will just go to the store and buy it. But like normal people, if you go into the store, bro, you have to wait in line. And once you get into the store, if basically the way like if they don't fuck with like your energy, like that's the way. They don't say it like that, but like that's the way. Like if you really think about it, because they say if the energy doesn't match your spirit, they won't sell you anything. So you can wait hours in line, and if you get inside the store and you go to buy this, if it just doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you. Which I think is cool because they don't care about money. That's kind of how early Nowhere was with June and Nigo. Yeah. Like they used to have lines, and like they wouldn't really sell clothes to everyone. Like if they didn't really know you, they wouldn't sell you clothes. Because I read somewhere that Nigo used to print I think 50 shirts a week. He would give away 25. And would sell 25, but he wasn't selling that 25 to just anyone. It was kind of like if you go in the store and he knows you and stuff. It was kind of like that's what I love about Japanese people. Like they're being very selective. They don't care about the hype or making money. How brands are nowadays. It was very organic. Like they want to build their company and they have like a certain thing they're trying to build and they know it, but they don't want to take the fast route. They're not just trying to like make a bunch of money. They have integrity, and I love that about Japanese people. And it's like, I would want to just talk to these guys and hear their stories. Like, rest in peace, Goro Takahashi. He's not around no more. Yeah. But, like, the way he took the Native American, brought it back, and he was like, I want to, like, spread this cool ass little feathers and like the eagles and like all the pendants, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? He learned something that like no one was doing. Like there's a bunch of brands, like there's Cody Sanderson, there's like I think Chippy Horse, there's like Chrome Hearts, like all these brands are doing stuff like with feathers and pendants and stuff. I think Goros was one of the first person to really like you know what I'm saying? And like he's been around, I want to say since the 80s.
Yeah.
And like there's his books, like I have books from Japan that I bought and they're all in Japanese. Just the photos are amazing, and I'm like, yo, I need to go to Japan and like wait in line and like hopefully get this one day. Like, and like I read there was a stylist for someone who was in Complex, and they were talking about he goes to Japan, every time he's in Japan he waits in line just to buy like a necklace. And he's like, that's amazing because like you feel connected to the piece versus just buying it on the internet. Because like nowadays, bro, like with Grailed and stuff, it's cool because I've bought like certain rare garments off there that you can't find, but it's better to either just buy it straight from Japan or just actually go to Japan, because one, you're getting overcharged most of the time. Two, you don't actually feel connected to it. Like, you know, the best thing what I realized with clothes is that scavenger hunt. Like, you're going crazy looking for a piece, and like there's probably certain things you want that you still can't find. When you get them, you feel like, oh wow, I finally got it. But then, you know, for me, once I get the piece I really want, the feeling is over. Like, you're on to the next piece. But like, imagine going through Japan, going crazy, looking through all those thrift stores until you find something you want, and you're getting it for a decent price. You're not getting overcharged, and it's like just you feel connected because like you had this journey. And I feel like in person, that's like the sickest thing, like searching for clothes. And that's why I want to go to Japan soon, bro. Probably next year, and just go through all the thrift stores and just find all the stuff. Like go wait in line for Goros.
I mean, it wasn't what it used to be, but it's still fun.
Yeah, man. Because like I don't know, I feel like a lot of those stores, like I remember like my homies, like I know people used to go to the number 9 stores in Japan. Yeah. They said like every time the store would get too crowded, he would move the store. He had like a couple locations, and like so like, and half the stuff that people like the high streets cargos and stuff that people go crazy for nowadays, that stuff wasn't selling, bro.
Yeah.
Like even like when he had the New York store and like he started in 03, like stuff wasn't moving, bro. Stuff it literally didn't start moving until like when the brand was over, which is like it's so crazy to me. Like
yeah, I bought my cargos for $150 in 2011.
Bro, that's crazy. Bari, when I was talking about Bari in 2015, he bought a pair for $250. Now they go for like $1,000 to $1,500.
Yeah.
I just want to wear them. Like that's what I wear is number 9, but it's like I just want to wear them. And like people are going crazy, like overcharging, and it is weird though, cause like with the internet, bro, people literally will have 1, 2, 3, like a couple pieces from a brand, and they'll just cycle on the internet, and like everyone's wearing the same thing, but they don't actually understand the story behind. Like I said, most designers, like that are good designers, have a story behind each piece, and they don't actually care about what season it's from. They're just like, oh, this famous person wore it, I want it. And it's like those people don't have style to me, bro. It's just like it's just clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just wearing a piece, and, like, you're just wearing it because you see someone else wearing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, like, I'm connected to, like, people that just, like, I'll go and dig for something. I'll be like, yo, Kel, you seen this piece? And be like, yo, I didn't know what that was. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing the thing that no one has, but it might be cool in the stuff that everyone's wearing.
Yeah.
That's what I like about clothes, bro. It's like, there's so much stuff out there, bro. It's like, you just kind of find stuff that you're connected to. And I think that's probably how you feel about people that come in the store, right? Like they kind of gravitate towards certain things, and then you kind of explain to them like, "Yo, this is inspired by this," and they might want to buy it based off the story.
Well, I don't really try to influence their purchasing decisions because I don't know. I kind of want them to have an open mind and just complete silence and quiet while they kind of like go through. Yeah. There's stuff I mean, if they ask, I can help, but a lot of times people that come into the store, they know what they're looking for. Yeah. And I want them to know what they're looking for. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't want to sell it to somebody that doesn't know what they're looking for at that point. Got you.
So when did you start doing pop-ups? Because I know a lot of my homies have done pop-ups here.
I started doing them. Well, the first one was kind of a pop-up with one of my friends that sold Supreme, and then after that, I did a pop-up with some guy from Japan, and then another group of collectors in Japan, plus Ako. Ako's a pretty big raft collector as well.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then we did a pop-up with Casey from Coup de Gras. Yeah. And then that was the last one. We're probably another one in December.
With who?
Probably with Ako again, but we're not entirely sure. We're probably going to have it in a more... Like, we're trying to test out certain spaces. We're going to probably try somewhere in Fairfax.
Oh, so it's not even going to be in the store no more?
No, we're trying to do something, like, out there to see what it's like to have actual foot traffic from, like, tourists and stuff.
I think it'll do good, bro, because, like, I feel like it'll just get more attention. But in a way, like I said, like, I think it's cool it's in the cut. But eventually, bro, for your business to expand, like, you have to get a bigger store, and you have to, like, usually like, move locations. So it's going to happen, bro. I just think the way you're doing it, you're building it organically. And that's why I really wanted to do this interview, because I just really respect what you're doing, bro, and you're doing it for, like, you have integrity. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
It's important, I think, to run a business with
integrity. And like, not a lot of people have integrity, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, we're trying to go out there mostly for like, one of the things I've noticed, for example, is, like, we put certain shirts in here that some people don't buy. Like, we have, like, Givenchy shirts. Yeah. But there aren't those kind of customers that are here. So
If you
like, we
don't
make them like
factory move.
really really low, like resellable prices. Like we have some Givenchy shirts at like $120 in store that you can go on Grilled and put it for $250 and it sells for like $220 in a day.
So if you were in a different location, you think they would sell for more?
Yeah, so that's a kind of a problem. And like I was putting it out there for understanding, like what our faults may be or drawbacks, like what we're doing wrong. And that's one of them. It's like, for example, the Givenchy crowd is a lot less inclined to go on Instagram and look for what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Givenchy does a really good job in putting it in people's face.
Yeah.
So they kind of get fed what they want.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of them kind of hang around more touristy areas, and they wouldn't want to come all the way out
Gotcha.
to Pico and Cochrane.
Yeah, speaking of Pico, I was telling you earlier, Slash Magazine used to be on Pico. I forgot the
I didn't know
address.
that.
I want to
Yeah.
say it's 5130.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I remember it was Pico. And like that was like an OG punk magazine that like Jun Takahashi referenced. So I think it was just cool because like I don't really know anything that's been in this area. But I mean, yeah, that was back probably like in the 70s and the 80s. But like, you know what I'm saying? It was just super sick because like I was gravitated toward this store. How many other cool things are probably in this area that we never knew about? Because to me, this is kind of like in the cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's some a roller rink.
Yeah.
That's here. That's been here forever. That's like a huge staple of the black community.
Yeah.
I don't remember who funded that now. It's about to close down. And then there's Chic over there.
Yeah.
And there's some cool like people like places to eat. Yeah.
So like this area just has like little low key cool stores.
Yeah, it has like We Jammin' and the Fish Spot and right across there. But there's no like actual retail shop. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's in the cut. Because like you can go from here to Fair Park is probably like 15 minutes. It's not that far.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like it's not completely out the way, but it's like in a little. It's like in a little cut.
You have to look for it, especially because we're in the back of like a commercial building. It's supposed to be an office space.
What made you pick this space?
I own the building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just blessed. That's the only part that I had a huge advantage of is just that I own the building. It's just a blessing.
Yeah.
But everything here, obviously, like I had to make it do it from scratch. But that's just one thing I was able to get a huge step on.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to my advantage. Yeah.
When did you first get into clothes? Like.
Honestly, not too long ago. Like I was wearing like Macy's little stuff when I was like 20, 21.
Yeah.
But I liked and looked it up a lot. I knew what they were, but I never had the money to buy them. And I wasn't really into streetwear, so I couldn't really come up with the money to, buy and stuff.
So you were into more like high-end stuff?
Yeah, I liked high-end stuff from the start. I liked Junior a lot from the beginning. I still like them, but like not probably different pieces. And then I started like Undercover, and more so I was more into Stefan Schneider and like Robert Geller and stuff like that.
Yeah, Robert Geller's sick.
Yeah, and then then I transitioned to like other stuff, more conceptual things that I like, or like things with bigger silhouettes, shorter silhouettes, what have you. But then I started buying and selling from the thrift stores, and like going to like some really terrible thrift store that's like in a cut somewhere in San Francisco, and I lived up there. And then I would just be able to pick them out and then take them to like a crossroads or something, and then I would sell to them. And then they usually have something cheap I can sell on Grilled or eBay or whatever.
So you just always find a way to finesse, like, y'all buy this piece, I'll sell it to this person, take this. Like, that's how you basically started.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just kept doing that more and more. And then I realized, because I used to be in, computer science. So, like, I was a front-end web developer, then moved to the back end, and I was working for, interning for Square, and small little other startups and whatnot. And within that, I started making an eBay bot, because I thought the ones that were around were kind of inefficient and didn't really suffice to what my needs are.
Yeah.
And then I just started buying and selling from eBay and putting it on Grilled or re-putting it on eBay. And then I just started, was able to, cross-reference, how much something would be worth based on my own data, and it started becoming an automated process where I would, flag certain things that would be my interest, and then I was able to take that and just buy and sell it on a bigger scale. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I had such a big inventory. I was like, dude, I kind of need a store because people kept visiting my house.
Yeah.
And then I started importing from Japan, like a lot of kids are doing now, from Yahoo auctions before it became really big.
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and then I moved down here. And that's one of the time where Yahoo auctions became very saturated and unprofitable.
Yeah.
So by then, luckily, I was big enough so I actually knew people in Japan and Europe that can actually get stuff.
You just have like a middleman proxy. You're getting it straight from Japan.
Yeah, I'm getting it straight from Japan, but I have people looking for the clothes. People that put stuff online is just really like overpriced. So I usually have people like that want to trade, or someone that knows someone else, which knows someone else that wants to get rid of their hybrid pants, or they want to get rid of like whatever they're having. And then I import that. And same thing with Europe, with like more like older Gucci, like Tom Ford Gucci still around there a lot. A lot of the older Dior just hanging around there.
I think there's a lot of RAF in Belgium still, bro.
Yeah,
someone told me that.
There's a lot of RAF around there. You have to really go and look for it, and you have to know someone that's a collector. But there's always everything in Japan because they spend a lot more money on clothes than we do for the longest time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Dior exclusives were in Japan too, and a lot of RAF were selling in Japan, and all those like kind of high ends. Like an average person in Japan would it's about our age would know what RAF is to an extent. Yeah.
Why do you think? I feel like the Asian demographic like is the biggest buyers. I think they have all the money.
It depends on which part of Asia. In Japan, they're a bit different than what Koreans and Chinese people would buy.
What are like Japanese? Because I mean, I've never been in Japan, but like from what I see on the internet, it's probably different from one person. What do the majority of Japanese people wear right now?
Oh, like streetwear, like Supreme Babe. Not Babe anymore. Probably just Supreme. Mixed in with a little high end. That's what they usually like to do a lot. And then like they like. There's also people that like Yoji and like the kind of avant-garde stuff like CCP, Guidi, Carpe Diem, stuff like that. And then we have like people that like streetwear and stuff, like I said, and then people that more into undercover as well, their own local brand, or or even like there's also people that like Saint Laurent and like that kind of carry over influences, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But obviously stuff like Saint Laurent and Balenciaga are gonna be more expensive in Japan than let's say like undercover or like the Soloist or the stuff they find at thrift stores.
Yeah, real quick. So these Margiela jeans can capture my attention. Can you put them on camera real quick? I just want to show the people.
Can I see those? No, the Margiela.
The white Margiela paint splatter jeans. These are crazy. Let's just talk about these real quick.
Sure.
These just really catch my attention because the technique of painting on clothes, like I used to just go to thrift stores and paint on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, these are crazy to me. I'll probably have to buy these myself.
Yeah, these are nuts.
And I feel like it's cool because they're just gonna crack over time.
Yeah, the knees will start to have like less paint over them, and then over time all the paint will start to come off, except for some areas. And it kind of like forms to the user, to the wearer, kind of like leather does in a sense.
How do you think they just paint them? You think they just paint them like a bunch of times, like layers?
So it's like an acrylic-based paint, and they kind of like layered it 1,000 times. Like I'm exaggerating, but it's probably a lot. And then it hardened, kind of like with expanding heat. Yeah, and the heat made it expand a little bit, I guess. I'm not too sure. I don't make clothes, but that's just what I'm guessing from my knowledge.
These just caught my attention. Here, you can put this back. But yeah, I might have to buy those myself. Yeah. But yeah, this is what type of stuff they have in the store, so... Just wanted to show for an example. Anything else you want to say to the people?
That's about it. You're welcome to come by and
say the address for the people.
It's 5208 West Pico Boulevard. The building's all the way in the back. It's a Suite 10, and yeah, just come by. You don't have to buy anything. There's some books here. You're welcome to look at. Just look at clothes. If you make clothes,
buy stuff,
you can sample stuff.
Yeah.
You can also do pools and stuff. So you're welcome to come by and check us out.
All right, man. Thank you for the interview. I appreciate it, man.